Road at or near 20815 Gibraltar Road in Brownsville.
Yes, Your Honor.
That was a McDonald's, correct?
Yes,
What, were you in a motor vehicle?
yes.
What happened?
There was some horn honking and I noticed he had gotten out,
Who's he?
the victim.
Okay,
I noticed he had gotten out, so I had gotten out of my car, we approached each other, slipped and fell, and he went to the ground. I did kick him while he was on the ground. I got back in my car and I left after I made sure.
who was honking the horn?
I believe he was, we were in the line of the drive-thru. It was packed and he was the second car behind me,
Right behind you or two back?
right behind me.
All right, and so he started honking his horn.
I believe so, yes.
And you think he did that because he wanted you to move up?
Yes,
And then who got out of their car first?
he did, Your Honor.
And then what happened?
I got out because I saw him coming out. I'm a military vet, so my self-defense kicked in to stand up and get out of my car and make sure I wasn't, I didn't know if he had anything, so I didn't want to be a victim of him, bashing my window and doing something to me, so I made sure I was just on the
And you're saying he fell to the ground?
Yes, Your Honor, there was ice and snow. When he approached me, he slipped and fell.
And then what?
And then while he was down, I had followed him with my hands. While he was on the ground, I did kick him one time
Where?
in the face.
Are you on probation or parole?
No, Your Honor.
Anybody forced you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
What branch of the military?
I was a combat medic in the Army, Your Honor.
I'll accept the plea. Is that what happened?
No, it's not.
What happened?
What happened was when I pulled up into McDonald's, I have two service lanes. There was a car and his vehicle in the first lane, and the outside lane was empty. So I pulled up to the outside lane. The person that was in the first vehicle proceeded, and they took my order next. And when they took my order, I went to pull forward. That's when he pulled ahead of me, went up to the pay window and was verbally with the people at the pay window why he had to wait and stuff. He should have been next, not me. So, yeah, we pulled up. They had to pull up to the pickup window. Then our orders were back because my order was already put in before his, because he put his order in the pay window. They had to pull forward. When I pulled up, I noticed that he had his car in reverse. So I beat my horn and I held out the window, don't back up, you're in reverse. But what he did was, but he was not paying attention or whatever, took his foot off the brake, but he backed into my vehicle. But I got out of the car. I was
Did you
just,
strike his vehicle?
Not to my knowledge, Your Honor. I had no damage to my vehicle.
I had a picture of the vehicle then.
Okay, then what happened?
So when I got out, there's about that much room, so I got out between the pay window and stuff. And I said, what's your problem? You already cut me off here once, and now you bitched at these people at the drive-in window. Now you're backing up, why are you being such a hater? And he's like, oh, show me where I backed into your car, tough guy. And he turned like this and he threw me. And I either hit the ground or hit the bumper of my car. I had a torn rotator cuff. I couldn't pick myself up. I was laying on the ground. Then I was kicked in the face. I have a broken eye socket. I'm in therapy for the torn rotator cuff. It's my new surgery. I have to have surgery on my eye because it just waters like crazy.
Well, you got a problem,
And if he took off, I have pictures of my face that the prosecutor had. My face was swollen for probably a good month and a half. My daughter here, she could attest to how I looked.
Was she there?
She wasn't there, but she could attest to how I looked.
You want the prosecutor in here yet?
I don't know what I want.
I was told that,
If all that happened as a result of this, you have an orbital fracture?
it's like the bottom, the cheekbone, I guess is what it is, and it was so swollen that they couldn't.
And a torn rotator cuff?
One rotator, partial torn. They were going to do surgery, but we're doing therapy. I can get about that.
It sounds like they should have charged you with aggravated assault.
The police told me that night when I identified him by his vehicle and he had paid with a Visa card. He was having an altercation with somebody on his phone at the pay window, something about our right. I could hear that over his speakerphone. And when the police came, I think it was Sergeant Mott, came to the hospital to check on me. He said they found his vehicle, but they didn't find him. And they found, on his passenger seat that there was another ticket from prior to that night. They didn't tell me if it was or anything. They just said that he had, so I figured he was already agitated or had something going on that made him, I mean, I'm 67 years old. I don't think I look like a threat. This man that, I don't know if it's true past or not, but he's played 6 years of arena football. He played Michigan Huskies hockey.
Is that true?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, there was no intent to injure this man. Obviously, if I wanted to, I could have. It was somebody getting out of their car and charging at me, especially after seeing that there is a size difference and an age difference. It was to my assumption that
Call in the
something could
prosecutor.
have been wrong.
Why was I kicked when I was on the ground? That was enough forethought. That wasn't that.
I mean, he doesn't really look like he'd be a threat to you, right?
Which, Your Honor, again,
He's my age. I think he's not really a threat to you.
I wasn't sure if he would have a weapon or something. I didn't see a weapon, but you know, if somebody's.
Well, you didn't see a weapon when you decided to kick him on the ground, right? In the face?
No, Your Honor, my previous military training taught to sign this down and make sure they can't get up and hurt. If
You weren't fighting in a war here that day, okay? Let's just put, I don't want to hear about it, all right?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're too big of a man to be kicking a guy in the head. They should have charged aggravated assault. That's what they should have done. Prosecutor offered a plea to assault and battery under section 771.1. I asked for the video, and apparently it no longer exists at the McDonald's. The might have captured the assault, none exists. That's where they are. I'm not, let me just put it to you this way. You better make this one good. Not that you always don't. You always do. But I don't go for this. So, is everything in this report accurate?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm
Yes.
asking, any material additions, corrections, or deletions?
There's no additions, deletions, or corrections.
What would you like to tell me? And by the way, did you get a chance to read this victim's rights statement?
No.
Well, can I read it to you? And if you need to talk to your client about it further, I will.
Okay.
I was shocked and terrified when the crime occurred. I was slammed into the ground and kicked in the face. As a result, I was taken to the emergency room by ambulance, and the doctors told me my rotator cuff was torn on my right shoulder, which is my dominant arm. My right shoulder was dislocated and my nose was broken, as well as swelling and bruising around my arm. I couldn't see out of my eye for a long time, and my arm was in a sling. I possibly need surgery on my left eye after seeing an eye doctor. I also may require surgery on my shoulder. And
I think my charger's in your car.
Can you? I also may require surgery on my shoulder, and I go to physical therapy 2 days a week as a result. My glasses were broken, so I had to pay for a replacement. I think it says pour, P-O-U-R. Oh, pair. I'm sorry. I'm in pain and I can't enjoy things like I was able to before. I'll face lifelong pain and suffering from this assault. I'm scared of the man that did this coming after me again. I hope the man that assaulted me is punished with the full extent of the law. I needed assistance going to appointments as well as daily chores. I lived alone and was independent before this, and I've had to ask for help from family. I had to ask for help writing this because it hurt too much. I've also suffered financially due to bills and paying for a replacement pair of glasses. Medicaid only covered a portion of my medical bills, and I do not have enough money to pay them. I've suffered physically, mentally, and financially from this assault that has affected my family as well. We're more on edge from this. I hope justice is well served in this case. So I want to make sure I understand. We're going to come to you in a second, Mr. Hogan. And I want to hear some and see any documentation that you may have regarding your injuries and any necessity of surgery. So go ahead, Ms. Patillo. Have you had a chance to review the report? I know you already said there were no additions, corrections, or deletions.
We did review the report, Mariana. There are no additions, deletions, or corrections.
Anything you would like to say on his behalf?
Yes, Your Honor. So Mr. Asherman, he is employed and all that, as you can see in the report, he has a child, Your Honor. I know that last time we were here, there were some things put on the record, about the Army and different things like that. Mr. Eshelman was not saying that in defense or self-defense or anything like that.
He was saying is the instincts that he gained from the military caused him to do this. And by the way, he fled the scene too, right? Did the military teach him to flee the scene? But anyway, go ahead.
So he made those statements for different reasons. He is very apologetic for the situation. He's very apologetic to what Mr. Hogan has had to go through. He's, understands that he may be on the hook to pay some medical bills or things like that, whatever Mr. Hogan was able to produce. But again, Judge, he is very apologetic. He was very apologetic when we spoke. He wishes he could take it back. I know Your Honor may be considering jail time. I would ask for you to forego any jail time because Mr. Eshelman is very apologetic in the situation. He also needs to keep his job. If Mr. Hogan does need restitution, if the court is satisfied with whatever Mr. Hogan presents in terms of medical bills, his glasses that need to be repaired, things like that, Mr. Eshelman will have to pay for that. But if he loses his job, obviously Mr. Hogan would have to wait longer, Your Honor. So I would ask if the court would consider following the recommendation and maybe just order more days on the court work program in lieu of any jail, Judge.
Anything you would like to say, Mr. Eshelman?
I just apologize to him. It was a complete lapse of judgment on my end and it would never happen again. I accept full responsibility for what I did.
How old are you, Mr. Hogan?
67.
How old are you, Mr. Eshelman?
37.
What would you think of him if he kicked a 97-year-old in the face? I am troubled by this. Very troubled by this. I don't like assault cases. And honestly, as far as I can tell, you were acting nothing more than like a bully. I don't like bullies. I didn't like bullies when I was 12, and I don't like them at 67. You have any medical reports?
I just have an imaging order and I have to go and get another ultrasound on my arm, but it does state rotator cuff and
What kind of injuries have the doctors told you that you have? You're in a courtroom, and I want you to be completely honest with me.
I had a dislocated shoulder that night off the back end. I have a torn rotator cuff with ligaments and a chip bone in the shoulder. I had nasal bone fractures and an eye socket bone fracture.
Orbital bone?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have to go back, I think July 24th, because this eye droops and it waters like all the time. I have to go back and see, and right now I'm in physical therapy because the Dr. Siskowski out of Royal Oak for, where is it, Michigan orthopedic surgeons. He wanted to see.
You gotta take that phone out of here.
The phone has to leave the
Signs
building.
all over.
Ma'am,
It's gotta go.
it's gotta go. Please take it out.
Out to your car.
Oh.
Phone's
Ma'am,
gotta go.
ma'am, take the phone out of the building.
He wants to see if there's between the MRI and signal physical therapy and ultrasound, if he can tell if there is an additional tearing with possibility of surgery. I believe right now he is trying to not do surgery, and I would rather he didn't. I'm 67 and not playing baseball or anything anymore, so just hitting my daily.
I want to make sure I understand how this happened. You were in the drive-through, right?
Yes, I was in the outside lane. There was 2 lanes. When I pulled up, the first lane was occupied by 2 vehicles, and I pulled to the outside. And the first vehicle left, and they took my order. When I went to pull to the pay window, is when Mr. Ishman pulled forward in front of me into the pay window and was complaining to them that he was next. And
Then he backed into your car?
then we went to the pay window, so our orders were offset, so they had him pull ahead. And I noticed when I got to the pay window, he had pulled ahead, and his reverse lights were on. So I beeped the horn, blew my lights at him, and hollered out the window, "Don't back up, you're in reverse." Because some people, when they pull forward and they go back up, they,
Right.
and slowly, it wasn't a fast hit, but it just slowly, I don't know if he took his foot off the brake or wasn't paying attention. I like, but it backed into my car. And so I got out, was just gonna, and I said, "He just backed into my car." It's like, or my truck. He's like, he gets out and he says, "Oh, well, show me where I backed into your car, tough guy." And I went to turn like this to the front of my vehicle, and it had snow on it and stuff, because it was, the next thing I knew, I was pushing to. I don't know if I hit.
I'm sorry, say that again. Next thing you know what?
I was pushed. I don't know if I hit the front of my bumper or the ground. I ended up on the ground, and I couldn't get up because my arm was, practically wake myself up. And that's when I was kicked
Kicked where?
in the face.
How many times?
Once. My glasses were kicked off. The people came out from McDonald's, seen me laying on the ground. They thought I had gotten run over in the drive-thru. And they asked if I needed a police or ambulance. And I said yes. And then I don't know if he ever got his order. He ended up leaving, and the police came, the ambulance came. Took me to emergency room.
What kind of out-of-pocket do you have? Restitution?
I had a list, but it was turned in.
Have you received all the bills regarding all the treatment that you've had?
So far, yes. Glasses, I have, prescriptions, co-pays, most of my insurance.
I'm going to set a restitution hearing a couple months out, and I'm going to have you get everything together. And you are going to send it to the court and to the defense lawyer. Actually, let's call him Ms.
I think,
Well, hang on. Let's call him Ms. Foley Carter. Yeah, I know, but you're still going, right? And I want to make sure that everything's covered. And what isn't covered, I'm going to order him to pay.
as far as the therapy, I just have my schedule. Would you like a letter from me now?
How many times are you going to, how many times are you going to therapy?
Twice a week.
Your name? There's going to be an issue of restitution. I'm having him get bills together. We're going to set a restitution hearing in about 2 months. Okay?
Understood.
And I'm going to have him send everything to you. And I'm going to ask you to forward it to the court and to Ms. Patillo.
Yeah.
Okay? So give me a restitution hearing date when I'm done here, Heather. Anything else anybody wants to say, I'll be glad to listen. Anything else, Mr. Holt?
Yes, I just, basically what was said in the first report, and I just, kind of rewrote something, about, not being able to do the things I did do and stuff, and having to rely on my children for help and stuff. which I would live alone. I'm very independent. I don't like asking for help and stuff. But I understand Mr. Eshelman was either having a bad day or something. I don't believe that's his everyday character. I hope not. But I do ask for your judgment on his punishment. And I would like to tell Mr. Eshelman that I do forgive him for his actions. And like I said, I'm 67 years old. I don't think I was that big into it.
I don't either. You, never been convicted of anything. They're going to take us under section 771. I'll do that. I want you to understand me, Mr. Esham. I have nothing but the highest respect for people that serve and have served in our military. You almost insulted the military when you made the statement to me at the last hearing, my military training kicked in. Now, if you were in Iran and this happened, that'd be one thing. You were in a McDonald's parking lot and you're worried about who's going first through the drive-thru. You've got to be kidding me. And you get out and assault a man who's 30 years older than you, that clearly is not as strong as you. You should be ashamed of yourself. I just don't understand this. I don't understand the anger that goes on out here anymore. The animosity among people. I just don't understand it. Like if we all were going to live till we're 1,872 years old, maybe we could afford to act like a jerk now. This is a short life we live. And I just don't like the tough guys. I just don't. You beat up a man 30 years your senior. You kicked him in the head. I saw the pictures. I've read the statements. I've read the reports. You left the scene after this. You knew you did wrong, and somehow, some way, you justified and tried to rationalize it last time on the basis of.
Now, this is where the judge makes something crystal clear. He isn't buying the military excuse at all. In fact, he's pointing out that leaving the scene and kicking a 67-year-old man in the face while he's already down goes far beyond a simple loss of temper. Legally speaking, the defendant is fortunate that prosecutors chose a lesser assault charge because the injuries described here could have supported something much more serious. And listen carefully, the judge even admits he doesn't like sending first-time offenders to jail, but accountability matters. What do you think? Should being a first-time offender earn leniency, or should the severity of the victim's injuries outweigh everything else? This sentencing is about to answer that question.
Military training that kicked in. I don't relish sending first offenders to jail. I really don't. 12 months probation. You cannot leave the state without the consent of the court. You cannot violate any law or ordinance of any unit of government. If you change your address, your place of employment, or home telephone number, you must notify probation. You do have to report as directed. No contact with the victim, Dennis Hogan. You cannot write, phone, see, text, email him, or communicate with him, or have anybody else do any of those things for you or on your behalf. You're not to possess firearms. You're not to possess dangerous weapons. You're to serve an anger management program with 12-week follow-up. I'm going to set a restitution hearing We're going to give you a date on that, and we're also going to give you a prosecutorial review date. Then you're to pay restitution as ordered following the hearing. We're going to give a date on the restitution, Heather, in about 2 months. Do you understand the sentence of the court so far?
I do, Your Honor.
And you didn't serve any time in jail at all, correct?
I do not, Your Honor.
This could be a lot worse. I'm gonna order 25 days jail. I'm gonna let you serve 7 days on the court work program. There's a $35 a day charge for that, for a total of $240 to $245. You're to serve 18 days jail forthwith. You're to pay fines of $200, costs $200, 75 victims each, sprite fee, $50 justice assessment. Now I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna go higher than 400 fines. 200 costs, 75 victims' rights, $50 justice assessment. That's 7.25. Screening fee is 60 for 785. Probation fees are 240 for a total of 1,025, plus attorney fees of 40 for 1,065, plus court work program fees. Your total here amounts to 1,310. If you that includes the 7 days on the court work program, you're going to pay restitution as ordered following a hearing. The restitution date will be when, Heather?
We could do August 20th.
Will Ms. Patillo be here that day?
Oh, actually, she will not. We won't have her again until August 26th.
Then let's set it after August 26th.
All right, so we could do August 26th. Then you want to do 8:30?
Yes, August 26th at 8:30. You're to forward all the medical bills to Ms. Foley Carter, sir, Mr. Hogan, by August the 7th. I would like you to appear here as well. And give me a prosecutorial review date where this case would be dismissed on motion of the prosecutor if you're compliant. That has to be before June 17th of 27. Heather, what day am I going to have for that?
That will be the 27th calendar. That could be June 9th.
June 9th to 27 at 8:30 will be your review hearing date. We'll give you paper notices on both of those. I want you to understand something. This could have been a lot worse. This is a first offense, and you've never been in trouble, but that's it. I'm sorry. You're in custody for the next 18 days. Good luck. You have 21 days to appeal, 14 days to apply for a court-appointed lawyer.
And that's the final outcome. Despite having no previous criminal history, the defendant walks away with probation, anger management requirements, restitution payments, financial penalties, and 18 days behind bars. The judge made it abundantly clear that this sentence could have been far worse and that the defendant's attempt to justify his actions with military training only made matters worse in the court's eyes. More importantly, the victim's physical, emotional, and financial suffering played a major role in the court's decision. In the end, the message from the bench was simple. Anger and pride are never excuses for violence. So what do you think about this ruling? Was the punishment fair, too harsh, or not harsh enough? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share this video with others, and subscribe for more unbelievable courtroom breakdowns and real-life justice stories.
Of appeal, you should have thought about that before you kicked this man in the head. Have a seat.
Yeah, may I speak?
No.
This way, sir.
If you want to speak, I'll let you speak. I'll probably change my mind and make it worse. Do we understand one another?
We do, Your Honor.
If you want to speak, I'll let you speak, but I'll probably change my mind and make the sentence worse. Do we understand one another?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, have a seat.
Come on, this way.
I'm taking a 5-minute recess.
Your Honor,